Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another installment of Lyles Figure Files. Today we had a brand new Hasbro Marvel Legends Fan First Tuesday. Really focused emphasis on Spider-Man for his 60th anniversary. Started off with the amazing Fantasy number 15, Spider-Man debut look, red and black. Really nice looking figure, cool accessories, love the web wings. Thought they did a great job with that. I'm hoping this opens the door for other first appearance figures like the Fantastic Four, where Johnny's shorter than everyone else. Thing is not as tall or taller than Reed. He's not Hulk sized. And I think that'd be really cool, especially for the Fantastic Four. But I'd love to see that with Daredevil, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk. So many other Marvel characters that would benefit from this first appearance treatment that we saw back in the Toy Biz days. So I'd love to see it revisited now with Hasbro, with their new technology, new accessories, new articulation, the whole works. So that's the first one we saw. Then we go a little bit more modern to a 2-pack from the Renew Your Vows storyline with Spinneret. And this figure, not at all familiar with. I know it's a super Spider-Man version of Mary Jane. Married to Peter Parker, and they have MJ, their daughter. The Spider-Man in this set looks really cool because it's got all that great articulation we've seen from the 20th anniversary version. And for the first time, it's a pinless Spider-Man. So that means no stupid red pen janking up the look of Spider-Man's blue sleeves. That's really exciting. This figure also has toe articulation, which would be really nice to see incorporated on a Daredevil figure whenever we finally get around to getting a new one. He's kind of overdue at this point. But I think the Spider-Man really looks good. I noticed his blue is a little darker. That's okay because there's several different takes of Spider-Man with the lighter blue, lighter red, darker blue, almost black, black. So that's okay. I think I'm going to wait till we get a blue version solo pack, not with Spinneret that I don't care about. But for those that do, I think this is a really nice looking 2-pack. And the addition of the toe articulation, kind of necessary for a character like Spider-Man. That's nice to see. The pinless joints, almost close to the definitive Spider-Man for me. So we've got that. Then we've got another comic book 2-pack, more modern era again. It's a Knull. It's a Venom 2-pack. These figures look really good. I think that the Knull figure needs a wash, though, because it looks a little bit too plain. And I think a wash, like a gray or maybe even black, would really bring out some more of those details. The sculpt, the head sculpt, the hair, just it needs a little bit something. It's kind of like that Korg figure that looks good, but it's kind of, man, if you just add a little bit more paint detail, it would take it to a whole other level. And I think this figure is so close to being a really nice looking figure that seeing them kind of shirk on that head sculpt, paint wash, a little bit disappointing. Venom is basically a rehash of the movie version, style with a few changes to look more in line with the comic book, and he's got super massive bat wings. So that's something from that storyline apparently. It looks cool on Venom, but I have no interest in it. But it's nice to see Hasbro really experimenting with wing technology. Maybe there's some more wing characters they could incorporate this with later on down the road. Maybe not too long though. All right, so we got those guys. And then we got the Iron Spider. We've already seen this. The Future Foundation Spider-Man stealth suit version. This figure, I think, would be so much better if they just waited and did the pinless technology with this figure, because that figure with the pins looks terrible. And I just think that at this point, there's no need to, well, maybe we could do it on the next figure when the figure hasn't even come out yet. It's like the pre-orders for this, like everything else, comes out tomorrow. But there's no reason to wait with a figure like this to just wait on the next one to improve it. It's not out yet. Fix this mistake. Don't make us pay for something like this where you don't have to at this point. So we got those guys coming. We've also got a Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham pack-in statue accessory. It sucks that figure doesn't have any articulation. Spider-Man Noir does look good though. It completes the Into the Spider-Verse team. think Spider-Man Noir looks really good. You collected all these other guys. I haven't, but they look cool. I think they really look nice together. It's nice to see them finally completing the team. Now, these reveals marked a real difference from Hasbro with the Marvel Legends presentation. None of these figures have any plastic, so they're straight boxes, so you just have to hope and pray that the figures' paint jobs are great. And despite the increase in prices, we haven't seen this great paint job on these figures. I'm still looking at the pegs like, gosh, that one doesn't look good. The paint is all screwy. Let me look through this one, this one. Oh, great. Here's one of 5 that has a good paint job. If they're going this route where you can't see what the figure looks like and trusting Hasbro to do the paint, they really need to step up that paint job, because it's no longer a thing of, oh, okay, I don't need to buy this figure. You're just hoping and really relying on them to do something they've never proven they're capable of. And I think this may be a real questionable job for them with the Marvel Legends brand especially. We haven't seen that wholesale with lines like G.I. Joe Classified series, not even with the Star Wars Black series. But with Marvel Legends, they crank those figures out so fast and with such ease that the paint jobs are frequently major issues. And I'm really disappointed that this environmentally conscious change puts more on the consumer to hope that they roll the dice and get a great paint job. Otherwise, there are going to be a lot of returns from people going, this figure's paint job is terrible. The lips are here when they should be here. And I've seen figures that look really bad on pegs, and thankfully I could just see them, not pick them up. Not have to worry about it, but I'm worried that's going to be a real problem going forward with this line, because we can't see anything. Maybe this is just with the Spider-Man figures. I think they're going to transition going forward with all these lines, and I'm really concerned paint jobs are going to be a real issue with this. Now, I'm still loving the Retro line because there's not an issue with that. We got the plastic. And again, I'm not so yay plastic. I wish they could come up with some transparent version that we could see the figure and not waste plastic that's just getting tossed into a recycle bin. But this new Lizard is great. This is the updated version of that character that I wanted for a really long time. The Build-A-Figure that they did years ago was awful. It was too big. The head sculpt made him look like a dinosaur more than a lizard. I hated that figure. It's one of those I was like, I don't care who's in this wave because I'm not building this lizard figure. I kept my Fearsome Foes box set version of Lizard in my collection, and I think now I can finally replace him. He's got a great 2 head sculpts. One is more of a vintage style. One's more modern. But you can also throw in the tongue, and it's all over. It's big, it's wide. It's exactly what you want from the Lizard. It's got some vials. That's pretty cool too. And I think they did a really nice job with this. And then one more thing that was super cool. They made the tail bendable. And if you've had lizard figures, scorpion figures without bendable tails, it's kind of like, what am I supposed to do with this? So glad that this is included with this guy so we can get a little bend and snap, Spider-Man, etc. Also, another reason I'm excited about this guy, I can actually put him with my Marvel Legends Secret Wars villains, which basically at this point is Doctor Doom, Kang, Ultron, Dr. Octopus. Still waiting on Hasbro to use the shrink ray on Absorbing Man, Wrecker, Piledriver, Thunderball, and Bulldozer, aka the Wrecking Crew, because they're too tall, they're too massive, and they look terrible next to contemporary modern legend figures Hasbro's putting out. But I'd love to see them much better, shrunken down, preferably in the classic Secret Wars era look, not the modern styles that have already basically been forgotten. That rant over. Okay, so the last figure that we saw was, I guess, at some point during this, was the final figure of the original Marvel Legends wave, way back when Toy Biz debuted it. So exciting finding these figures in sales for me and getting Captain America, getting Hulk, getting Iron Man. And for whatever reason, because no one could find him, there was this, I gotta find Toad. But Toad sucked. He's an awful figure, and he made no sense. It's like, we've got all these great villains in the Marvel Comics universe, and we start off with this guy. Where's Kang? Where's Doctor Doom? Where's Magneto? any guy capable of taking on these three heroes and forcing them to team up. And we've got Toad. Great. Okay, so Toad is so much better. It's got great articulation, two head sculpts, one with a long, windy tail, really nice. They've included two smaller toads as a nod to the original figure. That's about it. The articulation is so much better. He can be groveling, kneeling at Magneto's feet for eternity on your shelf. Now it's time to get a classic Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Maybe now we can get a 3-pack and knock it all out at one time. And I know people may be leery of buying another 3-pack with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, but I think we need to in this case. Classic, younger looking sculpt for Quicksilver, size down head probably, hopefully. More prominent ear or hair wings. Scarlet Witch with the helmet that's a little bit more pronounced. And a Mastermind with his trench coat. We've already got a head sculpt for him, and just get the trench coat look, maybe using the Morbius body. It's okay, we can cheat there. And his little overcoat, we're all solid. Nail that one. And the 3-pack, so we can knock out our Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So that would be good. Quick and easy, dirty way to get these figures knocked out. Now, so the major concern after I got all these photos from my friends at Hasbro was the retail price for these guys. I felt like I was turning into Roger Rabbit looking at the price points for these figures. It just was like, ah. So the Spider-Man Spinneret set is $55.99. The Amazing Spider-Man, one single figure, is $27.99. The Knull and Venom set is $77.99. Ned and Peter, two civilians, $55.99. Iron Spider-Man, $33.99. Future Foundation Spider-Man, the one with the jacked up pins, he's $27.99. And Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham is $29.99. Toad, a figure that's much smaller, is $33.99. And these prices are insanely crazy. I said this in my Star Wars rant, but Hasbro really needs to get these prices. I don't feel like it's fair to ask the consumer, we put more effort into this figure, so you're going to pay more. Like, I didn't think that was fair when they showed the Marvel Legends 20th anniversary Hulk alongside the Captain America and Iron Man, and Hulk was more expensive. It's like, listen, you guys have set up this precedent for so long that these figures are all one price point because figure A helps cost out the cost of figure Z. And we've always done that. So, okay, you can slap on all these repaints, you can change a few head sculpts, and we get a brand new figure. It's okay because we got this super complicated, detailed Colossus figure that needs more sculpt, and we're not charging a super extra premium for them. I just feel like changing this whole pricing dynamic and incorporating a floating scale based on the degree of difficulty is terrible. Toad is a perfect example of what I'm complaining about here. He's $33.99. He's nowhere near as complicated as the Captain America that has scales, that has a holy shield, different effect pieces, different head sculpts. There's no way near, shape, or form these are the same amount of plastic, paint applications, paint costs. Toad is smaller. And this is what I'm talking about. It's like you can't, clearly they are, but I think it sucks for Hasbro to put this on us to pay more for figures because of those special pre-packaging. And in the case of so many of these Spider-Man figures, you can't even see what the figure looks like. And you're just hoping that your figure has good paint jobs. It's like rolling the dice. I remember when I got my Hasbro Pulse exclusive 3-pack of Richter, Cannonball, and Domino. And my Richter figure, and this is widespread through different forms or whatever, but my Richter was missing the glove cuff. And I emailed Hasbro Pulse, hey, where's the glove cuff? And they were like, sorry, we're all out. We'll send you some other stuff. And they did, and it was whatever. But, I mean, I really just wanted a glove cuff replaced for my figure. Now, that's a really small example, but it's exactly the problem where it's like, hey, I'm playing retail roulette, hoping that all the accessories, everything's in place. If guys start deciding they're going to swap out figures, do you know how much easier this is going to be for them? I mean, do you think the Target, the Walmart employees are actually going to open the box and be like, oh, look, there's Spider-Man? I mean, I've seen figures where Bane is in the Marvel Legends package, and it's on the shelf, and people are like, what? Come on. So that's going to be a problem. So now we're going to pay a lot more for these figures. I mean, it wasn't really that long ago when a figure like Iron Spider-Man would have been $19.99, and now he's up to $33.99. And I know I feel like Father Time going back in the day, but it's ridiculous. These prices of these figures have gone up. It seems like the paint quality isn't quite the same. I think Knull would have gotten more paint apps 2 years ago. And I'm kind of thinking, do we need Venom with the bat wings if I can't get a better Knull? Not that I was interested in buying him, but I feel like a lot of people would prefer a Knull that looks great with great paint jobs. And what's the incentive to collect a new Korg figure when he doesn't look as good as the original one, and definitely needs better paint apps? So these are real problems going forward. And I know we've got the Build-A-Figure waves that are holding pretty steady at $24.99, but still, that's a lot more than what we were paying. And I know plastic, et cetera, everything, but our salaries, our paychecks are seeing this increase. But that takes a figure like Iron Spider-Man, Future Foundation, Spider-Man to luxury purchases. Not, oh, cool, I'm a completist, I want all these figures. I think Hasbro is going to start to see more figures like the Eternals sitting on pegs because no one wants to buy figures at a higher price point that have issues. And in the case of Eternals, maybe it's just they didn't love the movie. But I think a lot of people are going to be loving painting a little bit more just because Iron Spider-Man has arm antennas. It's like that's just not part of the deal. I mean, because a figure like Toad should be $20 or $15. He didn't even have the base that the other one did, that the original did. And that figure's base was pretty darn cool. Now we get like a picture, and we're paying $33.99 for it. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Don't understand it. And I'm kind of just wondering how long I will stay invested in Marvel Legends because I'm not going to buy too many of these figures at the standard price point. I'm going to wait for Target sales. I'm going to wait for coupons. I'm going to wait for those end of the year clearance prices where it's like jackpot. This $30 figure is now $15. Like what was happening last year for figures that I bought at full price. So anyway, that rant came out of nowhere. I don't really apologize because I feel like all this stuff needs to be said, but that's my take on these new Hasbro reveals. Let me know what you think about them. Are you excited about the new price point for Spider-Man and his amazing friends and his amazing variants? Or are you a little bit worried like I am, starting to think maybe I don't need to buy as many of these figures going into 2022, 2023, etc. Because gosh, who knows what the price of these figures are going to be in 2024. That said, thank you as always for watching. Make sure that you subscribe, rate, review, and drop a comment. I make sure to respond to everybody who sends and drops a comment, so I won't forget you. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Louse Figure Files. That's been